Hello and welcome to the Find Your X podcast brought to you by Hurricane Marsh Outfitters. I'm your host, Jon Blevins, and joining me today at the Delta Waterfowl Expo up in Des Moines, Iowa is our buddy Samson Matthews with South Marsh Outfitters.
Good
What's
to see
up,
you, John.
man?
Nothing much, just having a good time and hanging out.
Yeah, this has been a show and a half up here. You came up. So Samson's from Maryland. If y'all don't know, I mean, me and Samson known each other for quite a few years.
Yeah, probably come up going on 10 years now or something.
Yeah. We go out to the Easton Waterfowl Festival out in Maryland, which is also the World Goose Calling Championships.
Mm-hmm.
And while we're there, Sea Duck season's in, we jump out on the Chesapeake with you. And, man, I tell you, it's from the Midwest, we don't have anything like that. Mm-hmm. And so, man, it was an eye-opener the first time we did it, and we look forward to it every year.
Oh, yeah. It's like I've been telling people at the show, you know, a lot of them are from the Midwest, Iowa, Nebraska, Missouri, Oklahoma, and, you know, they're used to shooting dry fields, small ponds, stuff like that, but the Chesapeake is such a vast body of water and, you know, has so many moving parts that it's, if you've never hunted layout boats or you've never hunted big water, there's truly nothing to compare it to. It's as far as like the experience you get. You know, it's fun shooting all kinds of ducks and geese no matter where you are, but the Chesapeake's just something completely different.
I tell you, man, it's the first time I was out there, it made me feel like super small.
Oh yeah,
because it is such a big body of water. And just coming from the Midwest, and I mean shooting mallards and teal, and you know, everybody knows I'm a big goose guy, but I tell you that sea duck stuff was it was cool. I mean, you enter layout boat. So I mean, some guys it's like a pumpkin seed layout boat.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, so you're laying out there in that, and you know, the seas usually hadn't been that rough. I think we had 1 foot swells the time I was out there.
Yeah.
But I mean, for people that never done it before, I'm telling you, man, it is one of the coolest. I've hunted ducks and geese all over North America, from Canada all over the United States. And it is one of the coolest things I've ever done. I mean, you're laying in that deal, and you're up and down with the swells. And those sea ducks, you'll see them, but, boy, they'll dive down. How far off the water will they fly?
I'd say for the most part, you know, you're shooting them probably 6 to 12 inches off the water. You know, they're a very low-flying duck, so with the layout boats, it's really cool because you're pretty much eye level with the bird when you're not shooting up at them. You're shooting them directly in front of you all the time. And it's like they're so fast and there's so many of them. Like it could be overwhelming at times. But like the layout boats, you know, they're kind of intimidating to look at, and they're like, oh, that thing's gonna flip over when you get in it. But they have like a 500-pound weight capacity on the single person one, and you're not gonna flip them over. You know, they're foam filled. You can literally fill them with water and they'll stay floating. We don't do that, but you know, just in case. But I mean, they'll pretty much take as rough of a sea as you can throw it. It gets to the point where it's unenjoyable, but the layout boat is still, you know, doing fine. And on the days that it may be too dangerous or, you know, not necessarily fun for the layout boat, you know, we can hunt them right out of the big boat. So no matter what, we can figure out something to do to shoot these ducks.
Yeah, for guys that have never done it or don't understand, so you're out there in a pumpkin seed layout boat, but there's what they call a tender boat that you'll sit like 2 to
300 yards. You know, we'll be we'll be talking to you through walkie-talkies the whole time. You know, we can call out boats that might be coming from behind you that you can't see because it's really hard to turn around in these things because you're kind of laying flat. But, you know, you can shoot to your left, right, straight at you, and sometimes they'll sneak up from behind you. But if you let them go by, they'll circle back around and get into the spread. But, we'll sit a couple hundred yards behind you. You know, you'll drop one, and as John can attest to, like, knocking them out of the sky can be the easy part sometimes. It's after they fall down the water and they decide they're not done yet. You know, an old squall can dive 60 feet in the water. So, you know, they could be right off the bow, but next thing you know, that thing pops up 300 yards away.
And they're gone.
Yeah, and you got to keep chasing them. And honestly, a lot of the shells that you're going to use on this hunt is shooting the cripples, but that's just part of, you know, and they're a real big, tough bird, and, you know, they can just take a lot before they really give up. But, you know, once you get, I usually tell people, you know, John's done it a few times, so he's gotten pretty good at it. But if you've never layout hunted, you might as well, the first box you shoot is getting used to shooting out of a layout. You know, write it off, and then, you know, after that, you'll start hitting them, figuring your leads out because, you know, the duck's flying like this, but you're bobbing like that. So you got to kind of time it that you're shooting, and then the duck lines up with you at the same time.
Yeah, it's not laying in a cornfield or a soybean field or, you know, a shallow marsh in the Midwest. I'm telling you that right now, because you're you're moving, and so are those ducks, and the ocean's moving, the boat's moving. So you got a lot. So it is it's challenging. So it's something different. And I mean, you know, when you're looking for something different to do, I'm telling you, this is a cool deal. And what are some, like, I know last year when I was there, opening day, we went last year, and that was unreal. But it went on the whole season last year from what you said, and it usually typically gets better later, doesn't it?
Yeah, for sure. So with my particular guide service, South Marsh Outfitters, we guarantee you a shot at your limit, or we give you your money back. I've never had to give anybody their money back, you know, and I say a shot at your limit
deal.
Because I can't shoot the duck for you, but when I say a shot at your limit, I'm not talking 80-yard shots. You know, these ducks are going to be in the decoys, and it's up to you to shoot them. But the beautiful thing about sea duck hunting is it's not like your typical puddle duck hunt, you know, where, 9 o'clock, it's done. Like, no, you're going to have a lot of opportunities at these birds. And I tell people, I'm like, hey, you know, I know we're excited and everything, but, you know, tone it down and pick your birds. You know,
That's right.
Like, you can shoot whatever you want, but, you know, most people coming out here, they're going to want to shoot drakes, birds for the wall. So I'm like, you know, take your time, pick your bird you want to shoot, you know, take some videos, do whatever you want to do, you know, relax and watch them work. And, you know, Jon took some really cool videos in the layout last year of just hundreds of them, one after the other coming in.
There were so many birds that, I mean, you really did have the opportunity, if you wanted to let those marginal shots go and wait for one to hit the sweet spot. And then, you know, take your time, shoot the drakes, because they're pretty.
Absolutely,
I mean, I call them clown bills, but what's the one I call a clown bill?
That's a surf scoter.
Surf scoter. So you're going to shoot black scoters, surf scoters, white wing scoters, and old squaw out there, which I'm telling you, if you're after a trophy mount, I mean, you got. Because is the limit 4?
The limit's 4, yeah. So it's 3 of one kind. So, you know, you can shoot 3 scoters and 1 old squaw, or 3 old squaws, 1 scoter, that kind of thing. So, yeah, and, you know, it's a lot of people that come out and hunt with me, they're trying to check birds off their list. So, you know, we have white wings. There's not as many as the surfs and black scoters, but I tell them, I'm like, hey, you know, shoot your pretty drake surf, shoot your pretty drake black scoter, and then, you know, let the birds keep working and wait for that white wing to come in. I mean, you shot some white wings last year, and you could tell the difference. They're a lot bigger than the other scoters.
Yes, they
and,
are.
like, you know, I'll be back a little ways, and, you know, I'll call you over the radio and say, hey, here's a white wing coming, because, like, from that far away, I can tell the difference. That's my personal favorite scoter to shoot, just because they're the second largest duck in the United States, right under an eider. So they're pretty big, yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
So, I mean, you're talking about 4 ducks that, if you're after a trophy or bucket list trip, I mean, that's something you can do.
Yeah.
And I mean, you guys, every time I've been, I mean, when we first started hunting there, it was just buddy hunting. I mean, that's all we've ever done.
Yep.
And that's all, you just had so many people. Because I'm not saying this because I know him, but he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
And people know me. I don't hunt with a lot of different people, but you know, the first time I was out there, everything was dialed in from because you're like me, you like to run a lot of decoys.
Yep.
So he runs a lot of decoys. The main thing is it's safe, you know, because you're out there in a big body of water. The tender boat's big. The pumpkin seed layout boats, that may look intimidating, but I tell you what, they're super comfortable. And I think you were saying you're going to have a 2-man.
Yep, we're having a 2-man this year. So, you know, it's you know, one will be sitting here, one person will be sitting here. You know, it's good pretty much all the time. So, you know, one person can shoot while the other person videos, or, you know, they can both shoot whatever they want to do, or watch your buddy shoot and laugh at him when he misses, that kind of thing. But it's cool, you know, sitting right next to somebody, so that way you can kind of, you know,
you can
talk
cut it
back
up
and forth.
and everything else, and you know, and if there's, like, you got a whole group of guys coming, like you said, it doesn't matter. You don't have to be the first ones in the boat.
Oh no.
I mean, I know last year, some of the best flights it seemed to me, were like 8:30, 9 o'clock.
Yeah, and it makes it, you know, later in the morning, it's also a lot easier to pick out those drakes that you want, because, you have that good sunlight. And, you know, as far as weather goes, you can kill them in 70 degrees in a t-shirt, or, you know, -3 and all bundled up. Like, the sea ducks are there, they're there all the time.
Yeah, so that's the thing. It was so different between hunting those than what I noticed, because, I mean, times we've been there, we've had all ends of the spectrum, really nice weather, and then what I call, hey, this is duck hunting weather. And it was the same.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It didn't matter.
Yeah, you got to, you know, when it's real rough, obviously, you know, we're not going to use the layouts, but what I found is, like, when it's dead flat, if you don't have a layout boat, you're not going to shoot them, because they get wary of the big boat. But when it's rough, they're just looking for a place to sit down, so they don't mind the big boat at all. And, you know, we can kill them in the calm weather with the big boat, too. It's just, like, I'm like, get it, these layouts are the way to go. You're going to get them really, really close, and you're going to get the whole experience. 'Cause that's the main thing is, like, if you're traveling from across the country to do this, you want the whole experience, not you don't want to leave anything on the table.
No. I mean, if you had to tell me what would be your way to sea duck hunt, I mean, it's definitely out of them layouts.
Absolutely.
I mean, because it's so up close and personal. It's just like anything else with duck or goose hunting. Your hide's the most important thing.
Yeah.
And we've shot them out of the big boat before, and they get close enough. But man, I want to be down there with them.
Yeah.
So,
and it's in the Jon can attest. Like when you go, away in that tender boat, like when you look out, you literally, if that person's in that layout boat, right, you cannot see them. Like you don't see anything. Yeah. They're so low in there. Like the way the layout boat is, it's this big flat thing, but it's got a cutout where you sit. So you're actually where you're sitting, you're a couple inches below the water.
Yeah.
Like you're down in there. And so your water level, all you can really see is the decoys from a distance. And like the way that the sea ducks are is they fly, they'll be from the left or the right of you. They're towing up and down the bay. So they're going to catch a side angle of you, and like you need them to be able to catch that one glimpse of the decoys going over the waves, and they're going to come right in. But if you don't have a lot of decoys out or good, flat black decoys, they might not see you, and that kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, numbers. I mean, that's just been my thing. I mean, the more you got, the merrier. And the sea ducks kind of think the same thing. So. And
one thing that's a normal for us, but not the rest of the country, it seems like, is like we use longline decoys. So just imagine, you've got a 100-foot piece of rope, and 30 foot on each end has a weight on it. And then in between those two weights, you've got 12 to 14 decoys clipped, 4 feet apart. So you're running these lines straight out with these decoys on a line. We see you're like, oh, that's going to look weird. But, you put 8 or 9 of those lines out, and you look at it from the side, and it just looks like a raft of decoys. Because that's not – the sea ducks, like I was saying, they fly so low, they're not getting that aerial view of it. So they're you're seeing it just – and once you see the sea ducks sitting on the water when you're riding around, they look the same way.
Oh, yeah. So, the first time I ever did it, I didn't know what to think. I mean, you're pitching decoys.
Oh, yeah.
To hunt mallards or whatever. You can hunt divers at home, but, I mean, still yet, I don't think a lot of people are using long lines like y'all do. Yeah. And, you guys got to wait the front end of the decoy line, the back end of the decoy line. You also got to anchor the front end of the layout boat and the back end of the layout boat.
Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts and pieces to it.
Yeah, it's just not something, hey, we're going to go do this. No, there's a lot. There's a lot that goes into it. So, I mean, what really got you into the sea duck hunting thing? I mean,
like the guiding part, or
well, just sea duck hunting in general.
So I'm born and raised in Dorchester County, and like when you think about the state of Maryland, like a lot of people might not know this, but like waterfowl hunting, as anybody in the country knows it now, kind of originated from Maryland. So the Chesapeake Bay started off with market gunning. So, you hear about the punt guns, you hear about, the massive rafts of divers that people would shoot these punt guns into, and then you take them up to New York and go sell them. That's where that came from. And most of our game laws that the federal government enforces now all came from the Chesapeake Bay. No market hunting, the Lacey Act, all that stuff came from there. Banning the sale of waterfowl because, rightfully so, they would have been hunted to extinction by now because people are greedy, and they had to put a stop to it. And it took a lot of years to rebound. But like now, when you see the product of how many ducks we have, on the East Coast, it's insane. And you think about how it might have looked when these people first started market hunting, and it's like, I don't know if it'll ever be that again, but I can tell you, like, I've seen a steady increase in them. And, like, I've hunted my whole life. Jon will probably laugh. He's asked me for years, like, when are you going to start guiding? I was like, oh, I don't want to do that. But, you get to a certain point in life, like, I'm almost 30. All my friends the same age. Everybody's having kids. So, like, this isn't a one-man operation to go hunting. So, like, I needed a reason to go hunting. And now, I could take these people to experience a new thing. And for me, I've shot a ton of them. I could care less if I ever shoot another one. But for me, seeing somebody shoot their first one, get that excited look on their face and everything, like, that's what does it for me now.
Yeah, it's like the same thing with turkey hunting this year.
Yep.
I was in on a lot of turkeys. I didn't shoot a whole lot, but I was in on a bunch.
Yep.
And it's something about just being there. And even with goose hunting, I mean, I sit in that pit and I call the geese, and I have more of a rush of just watching them work and do anything else.
Yeah.
And I know when we first started, I mean, we come up there. So how we met at the Easton Waterfowl Festival, which it coincides, the World Goose Calling Championship is held there. And I tell you, you want to learn about the history. I mean, the whole town of Easton shuts down.
Yeah.
And, I mean, they have decoy carving. There's art. There's I mean, there's so much. There's buses that got to shuttle you around because there's so much to see and so much to do there.
Oh, yeah.
So we met in what they call, I guess it was what the waterfowlers or sportsman's.
Yeah, it's sportsman's tent.
The sportsman's tent, and which is a fun time. You have anything and everything that you could want to know about waterfowling there. People like us, call makers, decoy makers, clothing manufacturers, everybody's there. You can come there, enjoy that, but then also learn and go see, learn about the history of waterfowling.
Yeah, you go over
on
to the
Chesapeake
gym at the
Bay.
school. They have all the old school decoy carvers. They have all the punt guns and everything. And the carved decoy, you have some that on your shirts and everything, they all originated from the Chesapeake. And growing up, you talk to all the, the old guys. And I worked on a skipjack oystering for a few years before I got in the fire department. And the old guy that worked there, he was 80-some years old, still working the water. And he talked about, he was around when everybody still used wooden rigs. And he talked about netting the wooden decoys that would break away from the rig up while he was oystering. That's how many of these, these decoys now could be worth tens of thousands of dollars,
absolutely.
but back then they're just drifting away from the rigs and you're netting them up. And I've heard stories, people will go find old abandoned houses, and what they narrowed it down to is all these guys would store these decoys in the crawl space of their houses. So they're going to go scrap these houses, burn them down. They're like, oh, there's hundreds of wooden decoys here.
Yeah, worth a lot of money.
Yeah. So there, and I'm sure there's still a few that haven't been found yet, but
I'm sure.
it's pretty insane the amount that they, when you think about it, these, when you're diver hunting, you're using hundreds of decoys. So just the amount of time those rigs took to make and everything. And, the Jobs brothers, they're still up there making the decoys, and they're still running body booting hunts, which is a whole nother ball game that,
Yeah, that looks cool.
That's an experience in itself, but they still run a full wooden rig of decoys, and you're talking 600 to 800 decoys they're running a day, all wooden decoys that they did. So that's pretty cool to see.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. And I mean, you talk about those old-time wooden decoys to the, the nice lightweight plastics that we have now. I mean, that's
you need a boat in itself with no people and had to haul these decoys out. I mean, they're a couple pounds apiece.
Right.
You know, and it's insane.
Yeah.
Just seeing that, but
it's pretty cool. The whole experience on the Eastern Shore is, I mean, it's just neat if you're really into the waterfowling, history or lifestyle or anything. I mean, you're right. It's where it started, and there's so much to see out there.
Yeah.
And to go out on the Chesapeake and shoot sea ducks, just to hunt out there where I'm sure, I don't know this, but maybe Nash Buckingham even hunted out. I'm sure he did at one point in time. But just to be out there with, some of the, founding fathers of waterfowling and the history, and, to know that you're out there doing it the way, not necessarily the way they did it, but, I mean, you're out there doing something that you just can't find in the rest of the country. So, I mean, if you guys are interested, I'm telling you, look him up. And I'd get a group of, like I said, get a group of buddies. Yeah. Because it's not like anything else where, man, if we're not in there the first hour or so, that may be it. I mean, it's a relaxing time, and not only that, the seafood. I'm a seafood guy.
Yeah.
So I mean, the oysters out there. There's a restaurant we go to every Thursday night when after we set up for the Waterfowl
Get
Festival.
your lobsters and all that.
Yeah, the lobster night. It's like $35. You get this giant lobster, but all the seafood's fresh. It's good food.
And I take it for granted. You could get it. A crab cake on a Wednesday night's nothing to me because we get it all the time. But people coming from out here and everything, it's like, no, this is actual fresh seafood. This wasn't frozen. Then no, these are. And I've me and my brother have taken John commercial oystering before just to show him how it's done and everything. It's like these
cool
oysters
experience.
are literally coming off the bottom of the bay into the basket into the kitchen. That's how they are. There's no middleman at all.
No. Yeah. And there is a difference. If you haven't had fresh caught seafood before, I mean, so that's what I do. I go out there for the sea duck hunting on the Chesapeake, and there's plenty of time to hang out, go get some seafood afterwards, and it's just a neat experience. And I know sea duck season. What's generally the dates?
So it aligns with our regular duck splits now. We offer a little bit of everything, but the sea duck season is definitely the longest. November 15th, so the day before Thanksgiving, is going to be the second split. That's when I start my sea duck hunting, and then the really long split is December 15th to January 31st. You can hunt sea ducks that whole time, and my recommendation, if you're just looking to shoot sea ducks, November, they're all plumed out. There is old squaws. There's not a ton, but that whole third split from the middle of December to January, you'll have just as many old squaws around as you will scoters.
So, say a group of guys comes out, they sea duck hunt, they get their limit in the morning. What else can you offer them?
So, I mean, we could do a little bit of everything. So we partnered with a couple of, if you ever heard of them, Deer. They're like these little miniature elk that scream in the marsh, and they hop like rabbits. You can do an afternoon of Sika hunting. We can mix it with a diver hunt in the afternoon, kind of whatever we can go show you around town, whatever you want to do. I like showing people stuff and all that. But, we have the one lease I have has this house on it that we use as a lodge, and it sleeps 6. You're right on the river. You can watch ducks, in the evening.
Oh, that's cool.
It's got a fire pit, all that good stuff. So
see, I didn't know that because usually we're lucky enough we stay at the big house. So now you guys got a lodge set up. So if we get a group of guys, say a group of 5 or 6 of us are coming out, we can fly out, drive out, whatever we want to do. You got lodging for us.
Lodging, yeah.
And is anybody cooking?
I'm sure I could talk my mom or Maddie into it, but it's kind of one of those. The lodge, it's got a full kitchen, everything like that, and a really good restaurant. Old Salty's is right up the road.
Oh, there you go.
Definitely recommend that if you're for your fresh seafood and everything. But whatever you got, whatever the people need when they come there, we'll make it happen. Airport pickup if needed, but BWI from us is like an hour and a half. That's a big major airport. You can pretty much fly from anywhere in the country and get there. So we make it really easy.
Oh, well, there you go. I mean, come fly out. They'll pick you up. They'll house you. They'll feed you if you want to, or if not, you can cook your own food. Or I just go up to Old Salty's, really.
Yeah, exactly,
And then, if you want to shoot some sea ducks and then, get into some diver action after that.
Yeah.
I mean, and if you've never been out in the salt marshes out there, I mean, that is some of the coolest stuff I've ever seen.
Yeah, I try to offer hunts. We have very limited hunts for specifically targeting black duck, specifically targeting brant for people, checking those off the list. So if you book well in advance, January, we can do, a 3-day hunt. We can do a day of sea duck hunting. You can check your 3 scoters and your old squaw off. We'll do a day of black duck hunting where you check your black duck off, and then we'll go over to the coast and hunt your brant, and we'll check that off. So,
oh, wow.
If you're after the 41 or whatever it is, you can check a lot of birds off right there. Yeah.
No kidding. And you better, you're going to have a high taxidermy bill.
So. And we even have a taxidermist we work with. Yeah, you go talk to him. I trust him. He mounts all my stuff, and you go talk to him. He'll tell you what poses he can and can't do, and he'll ship it to your house. So he can do any pose, but if he's going to ship it, obviously, if you got some giant pedestal mount, it's going to cost a little bit to ship it. But he'll tell you like, hey, get him like this. Or if you rebook with me, he'll have it done right when you get there. You pick it up and you drive it home in a year later.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, everything's taken care of.
We try to take care of everything for you. Licensing, we make it really simple. We can do it for you. We can talk you through it. There's no, application period or anything. You do it right on your phone. You go to Walmart and do it. It's pretty simple. And they do a 3-day license, which saves you a little bit of money, so you don't have to buy the full season. And,
That's cool, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think about this? Is your first trip out to the to the Delta Waterfowl Expo? What do you think?
It was really cool. There's a lot of cool people here, and speaking of expos, when I first met Jon, it's crazy. It's I'm really proud of him, and crazy to see where his company's going. Because I remember, I was sitting. I think I was running a Tangle Free booth or something at the time, and I look over. And there's this guy, he's got 3 hoodies and a T-shirt. And I'm talking this is Jon's first year out.
Yeah.
And, I get to talk to him, and, I work for the fire department, and come to find out he works for the fire department.
Yeah.
We're talking about that. And I'm like, hey, you guys want to go sea duck hunting? He's like, well, we ain't got our stuff. And I said, well, you come back next year, bring your guns. I got everything else.
We did.
And ever since then, he stays with me. His wife's coming this year to enjoy the seafood and all that.
Yeah,
it's a really good time.
She's retired this year, and she's been jealous of all the good eats that we have and everything, and just just hanging out at the festival and with all you guys. You can tell we're having a great time. So, it's book yourself a trip. And where can they get a hold of you at?
So
if you want to book,
my phone number 410-330-0195, or southmarshoutfitters.com has all the information on us. Call me anytime. Send me an email, whatever's easiest for you. Even if you want to book 2 or 3 years down the road, we'll get your deposit. You figure out all the details, and you don't give me another $1 until you show up. So.
And what are they going to need when they come?
Well, so depending on the type of hunt, pretty much all the hunts I recommend waders. Even in the layout boat, you're not going to get soaking wet, but you're going to have that little bit of splash that gets in there. So waders, waterproof coat, and then that'll, if you're doing a combo hunt, that'll cover you for everything. Whether we're in the marsh chasing black ducks, the back bays of the ocean chasing brant, or whatever, it's going to cover you.
Yeah, and if
So-
they're flying out, they can bring their shotguns and
Exactly,
everything.
yeah.
And then I'm sure there's a place they can buy
Oh yeah,
ammo if they need
we
to.
got a nice sporting goods store right in Easton, or if you wanted to buy shells, get them shipped to my house, whatever we need to do. Yeah.
There you go. So everything's covered.
Yep.
Get your stuff. Get out there.
And the
book
one
a
thing
hunt.
with sea ducks, John will tell you this: bring plenty of shells.
Yeah.
I've seen people shoot
Yeah.
limits in a box, and I've seen people use 5 boxes to shoot their 4 birds.
That's
so
right.
Definitely, you don't want to run out of shells. And if you do, I have you covered. But it's nice, bring your own shells. What I recommend, if you're coming out here for a trophy hunt, spend the extra $50, get the bismuth shells. You don't want to tear that bird up because we both shoot the kind of mixed loads of them, and they make a huge difference. These sea ducks have such a thick down, like they can just take a steel
tough.
number 2, like it didn't even hit them.
Yeah.
And it just cuts down a lot on tearing your birds up, and we'll do a good job, taking care of them, being careful and stuff like that. So because I know when I shoot a bird, I want them out like I'm like cradling into the truck.
Oh, yeah.
And I wouldn't expect you guys to accept anything less. So
Sure.
we work with that.
Yeah, I mean, you're mountain. This could be your bucket list trip.
Yep.
And so,
Yeah.
spend the money on the. It's just like with turkey hunting when people would tell me, "Oh, I'm not paying for TSS."
Yeah,
my God, you're shooting a $2,000 shotgun.
You've got a $300 vest on, and you
Yeah.
don't want to spend the extra $50 on shells. Same with sea duck hunting.
Yeah. Spend the money.
Yep.
That way you get your trophies, in good shape and everything.
Because
And
the smallest thing like that can, not ruin your hunt, but you'd be sitting there in the layout like, man, I wish I bought that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for sure.
You spend $50 going out to rural farms or something, but buy the good shells. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So. Well, hey, man, I know Miss Maddie's running the booth now, and maybe she's booked a couple more hunts or whatever.
Yeah.
But I know being her first expo, I'm sure she's like, where's Samson at? But we got a few more minutes before we're going to shut things down.
Yep.
We have the Exhibitor Appreciation Night tonight, so I'm sure I'll see you
we'll
guys
be
there. It should be a fun night. And one more day here at Delta Waterfowl Expo. Can't thank everybody enough that's come out and said hi.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, if you want to – anybody that knows me, if I'm saying this is where you need to go, this is probably where you need to go if you want to kill a sea duck. So, man, as always, I appreciate it, brother.
Absolutely.
So, look up South Marsh Outfitters. And for Hurricane Marsh Outfitters, I'm John Blevins. This is Samson Matthews. We'll see you next time.
See you guys.